Emily?
I am. My hands are still a little cold.
Oh, yeah. It's
Can
like
you put them on your lap?
it's like below 60, and we're leaving Hampton, Virginia.
56.
We're 56, leaving Hampton, Virginia, and we made the decision to go down the Intracoastal Waterway
Is it
to.
intracoastal?
No, I think it's inter debate. We'll sort that out on the video. And we're going down the coastal waterway, the ICW, so that we can head to Morehead City. We could sail the outside. We do have a couple days of a weather window to make some long days, but the seas are going to be pretty rough. And we thought we'd just try an adventure, but there's some things about this that makes us nervous.
I like it. It's an adventure.
It's an adventure. But the things that makes me nervous, one thing is that we are a Leopard 43 catamaran with a 63-foot high mast. Our air draft is 63 feet, and we draw 4 feet 6 inches. So we have many bridges that we're going to have to navigate. We're going to have to go through a lock. We're going to go through a lock.
The Great Bridge Lock.
The Great Bridge Lock. We're going to go through parts of the Pamlico Sound. All right, she's correct. It is the Intracoastal Waterway, the ICW. But at any rate, the bridge heights on many of the bridges, the things we're going to pass through, are only 65 feet, and we have an air draft of 63 feet.
A what?
Air draft.
Air draft.
The draft the other way up in the air, right?
It's an aircraft.
No, not an aircraft. The military over here on the left, they are the aircraft. So the air draft is like right next to these bridge heights, which if it's published at 65 and we're 63, then, you know, it shouldn't be a problem anywhere, but it just always makes me...
level of the water.
Well, yeah, but that's the 65 feet would be at mean high tide. So watch the tugboat on the right here. I don't know.
Check.
We got coming up. So we are a little nervous about going down here, but we're going to try to take you along on the adventure and show you the sights that we see as we're going by the Navy yards right here and just starting to enter the north end of the Intracoastal Waterway, headed south to Morehead City. It's about 150 miles, I think I measured down the trip down, so about 4 days. So we'll see if we make it, see if we hit a bridge, see if we run aground somewhere, because in the Pamlico Sound there's some very, very shallow spots and things like that. But it's supposed to work, so we're going to give it a try. We'll find out. The first leg of the journey is the Albemarle to Chesapeake leg, leaving the southern end of the Chesapeake and entering the James River before heading south through Norfolk Harbor into the Elizabeth River Inlet. This is a very busy area for marine activity that includes all sort of Navy, commercial, and recreational watercraft. You really must keep an active lookout and monitor Channel 16 to keep out of the way of traffic navigating the commercial channels. The military ships are a sight to see, and you pass under the first couple of the 20 total bridges you will transit on the way to Beaufort and Morehead City. These first couple of bridges are built for large commercial traffic, so there's nothing to feel nervous about while you are still in Norfolk. The Chesapeake to Beaufort leg of the ICW is a combination of natural and man-made waterways. The south branch of the Elizabeth River connects you to the 9-mile-long, 90-foot-wide Virginia cut of the Albemarle and Chesapeake Canal using the Great Bridge Lock. The lock will drop you about 3 feet in elevation when heading southbound. It's called the Great Bridge Lock and is right next to the Great Bridge Drawbridge in the city of Chesapeake, Virginia. Great Bridge is not a very large bridge. It's a name taken from a Civil War battle that happened at this location. After clearing the lock and bridge, the A&C Canal delivers you to the North Landing River, which connects you to the North River by the North Carolina Cut, passing through Coinjock, North Carolina. The ICW has various small towns, like Coinjock, where you can stop for the night, dine out, refuel, and do some provisioning.
So here we are going down the ICW. We just passed through Coinjock. Supposedly they have amazing prime rib, but we're here too early to get any. Rob needed a break.
There are numerous places you can turn out of the channel and anchor in shallow water if you are in one of the natural waterways. There is no opportunity to anchor in any of the man-made cuts as they are very narrow and the banks are frequently foul with stumps and logs that could easily trap your anchor. The North River carries you on into the Albemarle Sound. It's about 12 miles across the sound to the entrance of the Alligator River. There are few places to anchor in this area of the sound, so many sailors would plan their travel to cross during daylight hours, leaving enough light after the crossing to find a suitable place to stop for the night. So it's 6:30 in the morning on the second day coming down the Intracoastal Waterway. The sun's just coming up, and we pulled into an anchorage last night in very shallow water. And get another good start so that we can get as much of the daylight in as possible. Right here we just had the time change where you fall back, so the days are ending really early, so we're getting an early start too, so we can get as far down the coastal channel as we can today. All of the fixed bridges have a published height to be 65 feet above mean high water. However, Navionics frequently shows notes from other ships claiming that bridge height did not measure up on some bridges, and stories are told of radio antennas clanking on the bottom of bridges. Most, but not all of the fixed bridges have bridge clearance heights marked on wooden boards attached to the bridge legs showing how much clearance is available at the current water level. Some of the markers are in disrepair or grown over with barnacles and can make it harder to read, but in most places, we still had a good idea of where we stood when sliding under a bridge. Still, we always passed under the bridge at bare steerage speeds to minimize any damage to the mast should we happen to snag an iron beam. The Alligator River leads you to the Pungo River Canal. At the end of the canal is the lowest bridge on the route. At one particular bridge, the Wilkerson Creek Bridge in North Carolina, it's reported that the height is only 64 feet, which makes it even tighter for our 63-foot mast. I flew the drone while Emily manned the helm so we could get visual confirmation of having enough room to just barely slide under. After the Wilkerson Creek Bridge, you enter the Pungo River and cross the Pamlico River into Goose Creek. The Goose Creek Canal carries you to the Bay River, the Neuse River, and into Adams Creek near Oriental, North Carolina. The Adams Creek Canal connects you to the Newport River and the Beaufort and Morehead City areas. After completing this trip, we were both glad we took this route. We recommend it for anyone who can safely pass under the bridges. The only real downside was it was a lot of motoring for a sailboat. If you are a powerboat, then this doesn't really matter. We spent about $230 in fuel to make the trip. On the positive side, every day was a comfortable day on the water. While the temperatures were cool at times, the water was always calm, and the wind was greatly reduced being inland from the ocean. We were making the trip in early November at a colder time of the year. The day still got warm enough in the afternoon that we could sneak in some outdoor boat showers. Long stretches of the ICW are very remote and free from any houses or towns. Other boats were on the waterway, but crossing paths with them was fairly infrequent. The calm water and winds made it easy to cook and clean any time of the day, which allowed us to comfortably use all the hours of available sunlight to travel in the same comfort as we would have had being anchored. Oh, hey, I should record when we do that. What?
Are you kidding me?
No, what? Why do you have goosebumps?
Because it's so cold here. That's why we're going south to where it's warmer.
Right. And what do we have for breakfast?
Well, this is some bacon, and then I'll make some eggs. That's what we have for breakfast, bacon and eggs. Maybe I'll make Rob a bacon and egg sandwich.
Ooh.
AKA a boat sandwich.
A boat sandwich. Love boat sandwiches. The biggest reason to make this trip, however, is the scenery. There are some very beautiful stretches of the water on the ICW, and the sunrises and sunsets seem to always be amazing.